And we are live talking about movies once again. This time around, we talk about Sean Baker and three of his movies. How are you, Cole?
Good, good. I don't know why you pronounced it Sean Baker. You can just say Sean Baker.
Sean Baker. Oh, that's Sean Baker. Okay, I thought it was
Yeah.
Sean Baker.
Well, no,
That's Sean.
what SEAN is like pronounced in English the same as SHAWN. So
Oh, that's something I just learned. That's amazing. I like
yeah,
that.
I mean at least as far as I'm aware, because I one of my old aliases when I was in communities for years as an admin and YouTuber on my old channel, like it was first name of it was Sean, and that's how you pronounce it. So
Amazing. Well, I will go to sleep tonight smarter than I was when I woke up.
that's
Um,
that's
so
wise wisdom.
yeah. So I will mention that already. Um, at first, I was meant to do this current show like way back in March or April, but I got a girlfriend, life happened, and it got lost. And I've seen all of these movies like way back in January or February, but I still quite remember most of them. I cannot wait to talk about that. And yeah, I guess we will start with Takeout, and I will let you start on that one.
Okay, well, I'll be completely honest. This one I completely forgot was a Sean Baker film. I have seen it, but it's been a while, so I really don't remember too much about it. So honestly, you can just talk about this one, and I'll talk about the rest at my input. But I mean, really, this was a great film as far as I remember. It's not. It's probably his weakest, so just because it was his first film, bit more low budget. Well, all these are low budget, but yeah, it's kind of like reminds me of the early film from I forgot the director's name. It's the one who did one of the recent Fast and Furiouses. I want to say maybe it was like Justin Lin, the name where it was like a Better Tomorrow was the name of it. Let me just check real quick. Yeah, I believe that's the case. Oh yeah, Better Luck Tomorrow. But yeah, so I mean that's all I really have to say. You can talk about this one.
Well, I will say this. That felt like a documentary, and I think that was the intent. And it was still enjoyable, even if I'm not the biggest fan of documentary. It was enjoyable, and I I will also admit that even in my notes, I didn't take that many notes. So this meant I watched along, but I didn't enjoy it like massively. I still like that movie. I remember not really hating any of the St. Baker ones. I did a lot of the Andrea Arnold. That's a teaser for other discussion we will have. But um, I think that was my least favorite St. Baker we covered, or we will cover, I should say. And um, that's really because that felt like a documentary, but it wasn't. And my two main issues, and I feel like I will get a lot of flame and eat as usual because like that's the meme now. That's the trope. I have shit issues. Number one, pacing wasn't great because there's a lot of shots that are just there to fill some time. Some of it didn't feel needed. The movie was an hour and a half when it could have been like 1 hour. Each scenes was more of the same, and I feel like the start and the finish, the start and the end, were kind of solid. It's more like the things in between that didn't always land, and that was my first issue with Takeout. My second issue, the characters were kind of forgettable, and a lot of the clients, because most of the movie is like the guy doing deliveries and he meets lots of clients. And I feel like lots of these clients, I'm like, that's a forgettable one. And maybe that was the intent, but like, why am I wasting time watching lots of forgettable clients? Now, there are a few clients that did stood out, and these were really good. And I feel like most of them should have been kept, but all of these that were not really meaningful, cut that, man. Um, and that's how I felt. Characters not the best we had around, but I guess that's what happens when you really want to give some kind of documentary. Your characters they do suffer a lot. Now I will share my likes because again I don't have a lot more to say outside of like I said my issues and all my likes. I feel like that movie was good at showing how miserable the life in the apartment is. That was the highlight of that movie, and the sound effects and the visual I admit were very good considering it was like 2004. um, Sometimes old movies they suck. That movie is 21 years old, man. You were very young back then, so do I. The clients were entertaining. The movie is good at making us feel like we are with the delivery guy. Colorful clients in the restaurant were entertaining. It was very sad to have the lead being robbed of his money when he really needed that money because he lived a very sad life where he was broke and he was exploited and it was ABUSED. I try to not really mention the exact word because I know it's not YouTube friendly, but um, yeah, that's most of the things I had to say. Again, I think that was a decent movie. That was an enjoyable movie, but that's my least favorite. Sean Baker, Sean Baker, Sean Baker. Now I said it right. Um, but do you want to add anything else on that takeout movie? I know it's
I wish I could, but yeah, it's been ages since I've seen it, so I can't really talk about it well. But yeah, it is the weakest, but I still enjoyed it quite a lot from what I remember. I'll have to revisit it, but yeah, I'd give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10 around that.
and Shocker. We are very close. I gave that one an 8.5 out of 10. Um, could have been better, but it could have been worse. That was my least favorite Sean Baker movie. And again, parallels to Andrea Arnold, that one was far better than the worst Andrea Arnold did. Uh, and yeah, um, do you want to add anything else, or we are moving on to Starlet?
Um, yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, here we are, Starlet. What did you think of Starlet?
Yeah. Well, one sec. Hold on, my fucking PC's freezing. Give me a second.
That happens a lot. It's unfortunate. It happened to me yesterday on the stream we did.
Yeah,
Um,
so I'm sorry. You can go first. My PC's like freezing.
Perfect. I will go first. Then Starlet. Starlet. Okay, Starlet. It's a weird one because I don't have a lot to say, but I did enjoy that movie a lot. That was a very fun experience, and it got me hyped for the rest of that filmography for Sean Baker. So Starlet is about um, a woman that exploits people, and that sounds weird, but this is really the premise of that movie. She exploits pretty much everyone around her, and that's a recurring theme and a recurring idea among the Sean Baker movies. There's a lot of exploitation going on
Mhm.
out there, and um,
Yeah, sorry. My PC stopped freezing now, but yeah, I mean,
okay,
this one I don't have the most to say either about others, but I did like rewatch it. But so I mean, I'll more so just like kind of maybe add on to yours during it. But like to add on to that though, for example, like yeah, I does a pretty good again. It's like slice of life films and kind of like character studies like that. All these films and about semi similar topics and type of characters and you know there were people who like kind of I think stupidly like criticized a couple of his films that got like a lot of awards and praise because they're like, oh, it doesn't tell like the full you know story of like you know the sex worker industry or whatever. Like his most recent film, I'm just like, yeah, there's loads to cover. Like there's many different like angles of that type of thing and like point of views and stuff. That's just one of them, and he's done this on like a handful of films, and this is kind of another one that kind of like and with exploitation and everything. And this is like another point of view. So, when people said that, I'm just like, have you seen Scarlet? Because it kind of goes through like some of that side of it, which is very accurate too. But yeah, and I think it does a great job there. And just the characters.
Well, do you want to add anything else
Well, no,
on?
again, I'm just gonna like kind of chip in here and there for this one. You can keep going, and if something pops up in my mind again, then yeah.
Perfect. Well, this time around, I had no issues whatsoever. I enjoyed the trip from start to finish, and I think one of the highlights, the music. I think the music is something in pretty much every Sean Baker movie I've seen is something I really enjoyed. I I think the music is one of the highlights outside of this slice of life approach and the characters. Most of the time, the characters are very efficient and very good, but the music is a great choice. I think he's really thinking well about what he will put as themes and music and such. Now, a few things in my notes. Friendship were well faked by pretty much everyone in the movie. Like, you can tell and say, you know what, this world is fake, these people are not really friends, and this applies to pretty much everyone in that movie. And it's interesting and sad at the same time because it's very realistic to that kind of environment that Sean Baker wants to highlight and put in his movies. Any thoughts on the friendships being all fake in
Yeah,
pretty much any movies or Starlet?
like I think it's sad, but it's again very real, and I think does a fantastic job portraying it. And how these people are, and it's another I'd say another director that does it as well is obviously Emerald Fennell with Promising Young Woman and Saltburn, which I once again I think Saltburn just has like issues on like a filmmaking level and like technical levels and everything. I think Saltburn's a bit better, but I don't like love either. Though I do think there can be improvements in areas, but I don't have an issue with like quite the writing and characters or anything. Though really, I think it's well done, and the movies are kind of like this as well. How there's always like a double motive or underlying motive for like anything that people do. Like not like it's sad to say, and it's not the case 100% of the time in every case with like each person, but it's at least going to be a case like at least a good amount of the time with any person in the world. There's always like something behind everyone. Not everybody's just like 100% uh like nice or like given and everything. Like there is that side with everybody, and yeah, I think this film covers it very well, and the relationships there extremely well. And I
Yeah.
also just really like the visual style as well as I do in a lot of his films.
Do you want to add anything else on that?
No, no,
Okay. Well, so I guess I will take over a bit there. Interesting how nobody respects the two girls in the industry. And yeah, I think that's another thing that's recurring with Sean Baker throughout his filmography. The reveal of the lady having lost her husband and child was tragic, and they did kept it for so long, and it felt just very sad, and that was great. I think when it comes to that kind of reveal, a lot of movies can fail doing it well, but here I think that was a big punchline there. She lost everyone, and that girl there, she is similar to what she lost, but she's not really what she lost. But yeah, any thoughts on that reveal with the lost husband and the lost daughter.
Yeah, I think that was a good reveal. Um, Added a lot to it. There were points in the film where I was getting a little worried. I don't know if it would expand more on there. I thought, with being another one of his earlier films, I thought, maybe it wouldn't have too much more in that, and that it kind of branches out on. But then they added that, and I think it was really good touch there. Added a lot to it. Yeah, and they added in this as well as great from what I remember. Yeah.
And another very nice thing about Sean Baker movies, the humor is
Hmm.
really good, and it's not James Gunn humor; it's clever humor. And I say that because I think sometimes James Gunn goes for like cheap humor, but um, like I think Sean Baker really understands how people think, and he is good at making people be funny on a realistic and well taught way. And that's one of the highlights that I can tell about pretty much every movie I've seen from Sean Baker. And um, again, I most of my notes and likes is really like the humor. And I also think the acting and the casting were very good. Maybe I'm crazy. Would you agree with that or disagree?
Sorry, what's that?
The acting and casting in Starlet.
No, oh yes, fantastic. Yeah. Um, Actually, trying to remember what the name of the one actress was again. What she did outside of this. It was. I remember her in something else. I believe. I'm just trying to.
I'm trying as well. That's actually a very
Uh,
interesting thing to do.
uh, yeah, I don't know if I quite remember. I'll have to look it up. But again, it's kind of more of an indie actress. I don't think she's been in anything really too mainstream. She was only had
Dree Hemingway.
yeah, she's yeah, it might have been some I think it was oh yeah, right, I think it was While We're Young that I remember her in as well, which was I believe a Noah Baumbach film. Yes, it was, but yeah, I remember her being good in that as well.
And yeah, I one last thing. By the end of the movie, just I think right before the reveal, the friendship collapsing because of the lies. That was very interesting, and it made sense. So again, I think Starlet was a very good movie, and it got me hyped for the rest of the filmography. And would you like to add anything else on Starlet?
No, that's about it. I'd probably give this an 8.5 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10.
That's very good, and I will sound crazy. I had no issues, and I did enjoy it a lot. So I will give Starlet a well-deserved 10. Um, I like that thing. I think Sean Baker really hit it home most of the time. It's very good. There's not a single Sean Baker movie I've seen that I didn't like. Um, there's one I didn't see because it was very hard for me to find it. The 2008, I think it was Prince something. I think that's the only Sean Baker I wasn't able to see, but all of the other ones, rock solid. I I think he's one of my favorite filmmaker. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I guess this is the segue to Tangerine, the last movie we cover tonight on that stream. We will cover others in video that we will record and
I see. See, we weren't covering the others.
Tangerine.
Damn. Damn,
Tangerine.
okay. Yeah, damn. Well, the other ones are the ones I have the most to say, unfortunately. But
We
yeah,
will
so,
cover them on
yeah, yeah,
videos,
yeah,
but
just,
not on stream.
okay, I see. That's why. Well, but yeah, I mean, Tangerine, yeah, I believe this is the film where, yeah, it was all filmed on an iPhone. and that's what it got popular for. And yeah, it does a great job, and I do like it a lot. I do like the characters and the story and the whole setting and the visual style with the iPhone, you know, iPhone gimmick and everything. I did like, and the lighting's really good. I do think this is his second weakest film, and I do think people at the time overhyped it just because of the whole gimmick thing. You know, I would definitely prefer his other three films after this and Scarlet as well, but I still quite enjoyed this as well. I think there's also some people that kind of overhate it too much, just because of the whole gimmick thing. Like a lot of people do that. I mean, that's just like pretentious film people for you, and like just like the people with like they watch an A24 film nowadays, and they're just like, oh, it's similar to this other A24 film. Let me just meme on it now and call it a terrible film. I'm just like, just judge the fucking film on its own merits. Like Jesus Christ.
I
Yeah,
agree with that statement. I like it.
yeah, but yeah. I quite enjoyed this. Not, I don't think it's the strongest Sean Baker film. And I also don't have too much more to say about it outside of that. But yeah,
I will echo a lot of what you said. It's also my second least favorite. I still like that thing. It was still very good, and I think Tangerine adds something kind of special there. The taxi aspect was like very funny. And the guy that rejects someone that may not be um, straight, or I should say that might not be a biological female. That was like so offensive if that was made like today. And I like that kind of liberty that was taken in being offensive that way. Um, I think that's probably one of the highlight. And the big fight in the restaurant at the end, that was hilarious. Um, I think Tangerine was a very interesting approach. And again, it goes back to what I mentioned in the past. In a lot of the movies in Sean Baker filmography, it's about exploiting people, and they all get exploited. Even uh, the people that consume, they are exploited in some ways. Everyone is exploited. It's interesting. Now, my big issue with that movie, the pacing could have been more tight. As much as the donut place was the best scene in the movie, it went on for too long, and I froze there. But I will keep going because at least I still have my notes in front of me. But um, I think that was the only movie of Sean Baker that I really felt like the pacing was lacking. Um, Maybe the Florida Project, but the Florida Project, I don't have my notes right now, so I might be wrong. But Tangerine again, very interesting approach. And again, the pacing was lacking. Now my likes. The two girls talking about getting cheated on was very funny, and the girl searching for her cheating boyfriend and pimp apparently, that was funny. And the music again, I see the music in every places I look at. Good job, Sean Baker. Um, and funny meeting with the cops, and funny how the taxi probably rejected. Well, yeah, I said it, and again, that'd be so inappropriate today, but we need more of that. Taking risk can be a very good payoff at some point. The hotel sequence with the air pulling lady was very funny. The taxi driver has the most charisma in the cast. You feel like, I think it's my favorite character in that movie, and he's not even the main character. And again, the argument in the restaurant was very good, and all people get intel was very believable. And again, the full chaos is priceless. And yeah, I'm back, but no camera. So I experienced some weird issues there. Um, but I will be right back. Um, because camera things. And I'm back. I have a glitch. That is great, but we are back. Full strength. So again, I think Tangerine is definitely least favorite. That's right.
Yeah, sorry, I came back and your mic's a little messed up.
Oh, right now it's messed up.
No, it's good now. Yeah, it was like
Oh,
muffled though before then.
that sucks. But again, Tangerine was entertaining. It was a fun movie, but weaker than Starlet and weaker than Red Rocket because I do remember liking Red Rocket a lot. Um, and again, the humor and the music, very big highlights. I don't have a lot more to say there, so I will just say I will give this movie 9.7. Better than Takeout, weaker than Starlet, and that's how I feel. And what would be your grade out of 10 for Tangerine?
Give it an 8 out of 10.
Amazing. Thank you a lot for sharing. Now, this was very short, but that's kind of the point of this show because we got several other movies to cover,
Yeah.
and this will be pre-recorded, so I will give you another link for the other movies.
Mm-hmm.
But the next stream like that we will be having will be in 4 weeks, roughly 4 weeks, and we will be covering the last few movies of Andrea Arnold because I feel like one Andrea Arnold and one scene Sean Baker. Why scene is
I
still in my
see.
mind?
Which ones have you not covered yet from her?
Well, we didn't cover any of her, so that's what we will be doing in a moment
Uh,
after this stream.
I see. I see. Okay. Well, yeah. Again, I don't have any. Wasn't able to rewatch them, so I don't have like anything to say in depth. But all really. Also, I'll just like really say it quickly now, which I said in DMs there, private messages. Just I do like the films, but yeah, not one of my favorite directors, and not one of the best who do those type of films. Like Sean Baker is kind of like just does kind of a better version of it. There's other directors I like more that do a better version of it. If you haven't seen films from a director, one of her films is called First Cow that came out a few years ago. So I would search up that film and kind of her filmography. I think she does better films that this director kind of goes for at times, but well, kind of a mix of that and Sean Baker. But I still enjoy her films, at least most of them, just not as much as others. Like Bird, I would probably give like a 6 or 7. Cow, I would probably give a 6 or 7, and American Honey, I would give like a 7 or 8 out of 10, around that range. So yeah, and that's all I really have to say. But yeah, and I believe Shia LaBeouf was in American Honey, if I remember correctly. And
He
again,
was.
such a waste. If you haven't seen like it was Honey Boy and Peanut Butter Falcon. Like he had a career resurgence with American Honey and those two, especially Honey Boy, where he played his own abusive father in the film. And I really think he should have got like a Oscar nominee for it. Like he was doing great work as an actor after kind of returning and after suffering a lot of issues, which they kind of highlight in Honey Boy or whatnot, and that he like went through during his childhood as like a child star that led him down doing a lot of shit and during the Transformer films and everything and just being drunk in public and everything. And then he also did Pieces of a Woman after that with Vanessa Kirby, which he got an Oscar nominee for, which I think was deserved. I really think she should have won it. Uh, and then after that film, though, and doing all that great work, being like one of the best American actors at the moment, and being looked at to play like I think it was like Galactus or like some like I don't know some like Freeze type like character villain in like the MCU. Then he decided like go abuse more women again. So good job.
That sucks.
Yeah, it
Amazing.
was like some artist like say Twigs or whatever her name was, but
People.
yeah, and then he got long term help, and I love in his response he was like, I hurt myself and other people. It's like he put himself first in his apology. I just love that. But yeah, and then he's come back semi again after all that shit and was in that awful Megalopolis film. God, that was just garbage. But I mean, Malty finds it decent for some reason.
I said good or
Oh my
average.
god, that's even worse. God, dude, you can literally see boom mics in the frame because they forgot to edit them out. Oh my god.
Anyhow, this is it for the stream. I will give you the link for the other movies. We will do pre-recorded stuff again for the other
Yeah, yeah,
movies.
you can do the other stream first, so if you want, but yeah, I'll be waiting.
Yeah. So anyhow, we are out for now. And next Tuesday, Superman and Lois. Maybe I will have people. Maybe I will be alone. We will see. And next Wednesday,
Yeah.
actually, it will be Megan. And we are out.
Yep.